Been joined by three men who work on the junior nights, i.e. they train the juniors at the Dow Youth Boxing Club. Now, of course, Dow Youth had their base for the last 19 or so years inside Grenfell Tower. And in addition to all of the absolute calamities and disasters and terrible stuff that happened in that building when it was burnt when the fire took place last week, one of the losses was the Dow Youth Gym ended up being wiped out. They lost everything, the bags, the ring, even Mick Delaney's special broom. But what they also lost was all the memorabilia. But the three of the men that work with the juniors are here on my sofa now. Gary, Steve and Joe, welcome to the show, fellas. Oh, Gary, I'm going to start with you, Gary, because I know that you and I have known you an awful long time, and I know that you've been at the gym 13 or so years. Yeah. But you actually went out because you live close. You went out at 2 or 3 in the morning and watched the gym being ruined and all those homes going up. Yeah, it was terrible. I mean, my wife woke me up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I just straight out there to see it on the telly. But I was out there about 10 minutes later, down there watching it, and just couldn't believe what I was seeing. It's just such a tragedy. Now, of course, thankfully, none of your boxers, senior or junior, were inside the building. But there was one man in the building who had 3 sons go through the building. That's Tony Disson, up on the 22nd floor, and he has been confirmed dead. He's been confirmed dead now. When we heard the news, we was devastated. Tony Disson, 3 sons boxed for us: Charlie, Harry Boy, and Alfie. They were champions for Dow Youth. And Tony spent a lot of time taking the kids around the country, helping us out, and he was a great mister of the club, So, it was double bad for us. Now, Joe, you weren't actually in the gym on the night because it was a senior night, wasn't it? But so you were meant to be in the gym on the actual night, the day of the fire itself. Yeah, on the Wednesday. We were due to come in and train the kids from around about 5 till 7 o'clock. We usually do. And how has it been, Steve, since then? Because obviously, kids are going. Kids that don't live in the area went to school. They come home from school. They find out about it. Have you all been taking phone calls from parents and even from boys trying to find out when the gym's opening? Yeah, I mean they're all sort of lost at the moment because they don't know whether it's opening again or no one knows anything at the moment. So we just got to wait. And what is the story? Because I know that you've spoken to the Dow Youth Committee. What is the latest? Yeah, Graham on the committee. He's sort of said that he's been with Paul King from the ABA. Yeah, he's like fighting our corner now, and they're trying their best to get us somewhere. So hopefully very soon. Because you were actually out of the building for about 2 seasons, weren't you? Whilst they were refurbishing it and sticking up that damn cladding. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, we was out there for 2 seasons or so, and we was stuck in an old damp car park, and we went back there 4 months. We was in there, and these tragedies happened, state of the art equipment and everything, just gone. So when we've got a picture of when you moved back in, not the opening night, but when you moved back in. I mean, is that a normal night, Joe? Is that a normal night, or is that just an average night? Pretty much, yeah. The numbers fluctuate, but yeah, we can get 30 to 40 kids in at a time, really. We've got 2 rings, so we've got lots of sparring in, bag work, skipping and that. So yeah, they're always busy. And Mick Delaney, who runs the senior section, who's been there about 30 odd years, he's got the same thing, 40 or 50 boxes. So between the seniors and the juniors, have you got, as we call it, 50 or so carded boxes, maybe even 60 carded boxes? Probably more than that, actually, carded, ready to box, out to go. We've got females, we've got juniors, seniors, all ready to go, and we've got a gym full of kids, ready to get ready to go. And no home to go to, at the moment. So, and you've got to get a proper home. You can't just have a temporary 1 night a week gaff, can you? No, we want a permanent gaff, like I say. We want what we had. We want like for like. That's what we deserve. We've been there a long time. The kids have lost their home. I know, the parents, the people have lost their houses, but, our kids have lost their home as well with the gym, and, we want to get back to where we was, a bit quickly as well. What did you think when you found out, Steve? When you woke up in the morning, I mean... Gary phoned me at 4 o'clock in the morning, so I was half asleep, staggering around the flat, and then I put the telly on, and I just couldn't believe it. Absolutely shocked.
really shocked.
And I was with you a couple of days ago on that bit of grass at White City, which was a bit unnerving because you could see the tower in the background, couldn't you?
Can't hide it.
Half a mile, no, it's hard to hide it. Half a mile away, 24 stories of black torch building. But when we were on that grass that day, with all those kids, it seemed to me that a lot of the parents and a lot of the young boxers were just relieved to see each other. Yeah. It's like the first time they'd seen each other.
It was the first time they'd seen each other for a few weeks, it's so sad telling the kids, like, they didn't know what to think, like,
Now, I know that it's been great, obviously. Sorry, but I'm not ignoring, but this is just too good. I know that, obviously the big names. There's the George Groves, there's the James DeGale, 10, 12, 15 years ago. But you're having champions every single year at junior and senior level. How many champions roughly do you have in a season?
Well, I'd say, 7 or 8 champions, national champions every season. Well, I think we had 11, 12 champions this season. And we've been producing them for years, like with the likes
20 odd years, isn't it?
Yeah, since George and Chunky have moved on, there's been a lot more since that. Like, you've got Daniel Dubois, who we all know about Daniel, and Zach Chelly. We've got Dan Keenan, who's unbeaten fighter.
But it's not just, in all fairness, and I made when I was writing about it the other day and talking to people, it's not just the big names. It's those thousands of other boxers who, over the last 30 odd years or 20 years in that building, that guys like you three have helped.
This is it, it's not all about the top fighters, is it? It's about everybody who wants to come in. Some don't make it to the top, but we've got time for everybody in our gym, whatever standard they are.
So right now, as we speak now, whatever it is, 7:45 at night on a Friday, you don't have a home yet. So when the season starts, September, October, between now and then, you need a base.
We need a base, we've got Paul King on the case, trying to get us a base. Like I said, he wants, we want a spot on Gaff, because we deserve it. And like I say, we've lost our home, and we've got nowhere to go at the moment. So we're just waiting for the meetings to happen and the council to come back with what their plans are, and hopefully, we'll come out on top.
Well, listen, I'd love to keep you on for longer, but we've got to crack on. Joe, thanks very much. Steve, thanks very much. Big Gal, it's always a pleasure.
Thanks,
and a delight. And we'll keep on pushing your calls. If you are a West London businessman, or someone, and there's a space that you think that Dow Youth could have permanently, a club that generates, gets 70 or 80 people in through a night, thousands a week, 5 nights a week, and a Sunday morning, champions after champions, and men like this that give up their time, and Mick Delaney with his king-size broom. If get in touch with me on Twitter at Big Daddy Bunce.